Hello, I am Bookface, and we're here to talk about more urban legends, where the spookiest thing of all is that all the information is unreliable by nature. And it means I can spend less time fact-checking since, no facts to check. And with that out of the way, let's jump right in. Woo! First up, we have the Bunny Man, which is an urban legend coming from Virginia in 1970 and has since spread to Washington, D.C. and other areas. Most versions of the myth relate back to a tunnel called Bunny Man Bridge. Imagine, not knowing this myth coming up and just hearing that's what the bridge is called. Oh, that's a cute name. That sounds so nice. Why is it called Bunny Man Bridge? Oh, God! One version of the myth says that in 1904, a bus of patients from an asylum crashed, and while most of the patients either died in the crash or were later found, one of them remained missing. Later, several rabbits were found hanging from trees, skinned, mutilated, and partially eaten. That's a little messed up, wasquy wabbit. Rabbit season. And a little bit later, humans were found in the same condition. Well, that escalated quickly. This killer was later found, but jumped in front of a moving train before he could get caught. That's one way to escape the police. And he was also apparently in an asylum for murdering his entire family. This is just Halloween. This is just the plot of Halloween. Modern legend states that he returns to the bridge before Halloween and starts killing rabbits. This is just Michael Myers in a rabbit suit. Also, it's said that if anyone is by the bridge on Halloween night, they will also be killed, skinned, and hung by their ankles. How much you want to bet 90% of the teens in that area do that every Halloween? The one thing I can say in defense of horror movies is people are actually that stupid. You want to say, oh, no, they're not. People aren't really that stupid. They wouldn't get in these stupid horror movie scenarios. Yes, they would. Next up, we have the killer in the backseat. Everyone hates a backseat driver, but what about a backseat murderer? Just imagine the other version of that. Just somebody nagging you the whole time you're just freaking murdering somebody. Just through the screams of agony and pain. Just,
No, you're not doing it right. You gotta stab at the heart, not the lungs. God, that's not how you drop pretty rabbits outside.
just really picky murderers. This urban legend is also known as high beams, which is an urban legend from the US and the UK. Very specific here. The legend has a woman driving along when someone behind her starts tailgating. Rude. Flashing their headlights and sometimes ramming into the car. A little more rude. When she gets home, she realizes there was a killer
in the backseat,
and that the person behind them was trying to warn her about the killer to scare the killer whenever it got up to kill her. Okay. Couple things here. First off, great strategy to stop someone from getting killed. Try to run them off the freaking road. Head-on collision, that'll save them. But also, I love that the killer follows the basic rules of serial killing that you can't kill someone if there's a light on you. You know, it's the rules. Them the rules, man. Also, following the more common sense thing, you probably shouldn't kill the driver of a moving car that you are currently in. That's not so much a killer rule, that's just kind of like not being stupid. So another way to avoid that situation is not to murder people, so who am I to judge? In a different version of this legend, though, a woman is getting gas and gets called into the station by the attendant because there was an issue with her credit card.
Are you a victim of identity theft?
Good. It keeps you from getting murdered. Once inside the gas station, though, the attendant asks if she knows that there's someone in her back seat. But could you imagine if it was like,
yes, that's my friend. That's my friend Dave. My friend Crazy Dave. I know he's there. Wait. Why are you asking? He rode here with me. Are you judging my passengers?
Although in some other situations, the killer gets into the back seat when the woman stops in the middle of the road to investigate a doll left there by the killer. Simple fix. If you see a random creepy doll in the middle of an empty road in the middle of the night, probably out in the middle of nowhere, just guessing, drive over it, run it down. Again, make sure your tire bumps off it, just to be sure.
Who would stop for that? My God.
I say this, and I know fully well that if I found some really creepy doll, I'd be like, oh yeah, this would be a good prop for a video. You just see like a creepy doll in the background of my video, like, okay, story time. I almost got killer in the back seated. I don't know what just happened. And in a third, very different version of the myth, because, boy, there's a lot of these. A woman is in her car when a random stranger runs up to the car and starts bashing on the car and screaming nonsense. The Jehovah's Witnesses are getting bolder. The driver, understandably unnerved's one word for it, drives away quickly. But when they decide to stop, thinking they've gotten far enough away, the person who is screaming at their car is already there. What? The Jehovah's Witness can now teleport. Truly, they have gone further beyond. This occurs a couple more times because, just the first time it happened wasn't enough. She finally drives to the police station. There's a quota of how many times you can have somebody run up to your car before you gotta go to the police station. For most people, it's one, but you don't want to be a little bit. They agree to drive her home, but when they go to get the things from her car, was she living out of her car? Is she homeless? I'm more concerned about the homelessness now, less the serial killer. But when they go to retrieve her things from the car, they find
The killer in the back seat.
And it turns out that the weirdo that was running up and slamming his heads on the car was actually the ghost of one of their victims trying to warn the driver or to attack the murderer. I mean, obviously this is very troubling for the person who's driving the car, but could you imagine being the serial killer in the backseat, like,
oh yeah, time to murder again.
And you just see the last person you murdered, like, freaking slit throat, slamming their hands against the door like, I'm coming to get you, it's payback time. And you're like,
oh god, drive, please drive.
Lastly, we have Polybius, the urban legend for gamers. Like in the other video. Fun fact, this was actually going to be in that video. Information no one asked for. Woo! What was that? It's an urban legend from 2000 about an arcade game from the 1980s. I almost read that as 1800s. That's a little different. If there was an arcade game in the 1800s, I would be very impressed. Story involves a new arcade machine appearing in Portland, Oregon in 1981. I know that's just like the basic information, but it makes it seem like Portland, Oregon is like a mystery in itself. Portland doesn't exist.
Oregon is not real state.
Australia isn't real. Y'all don't get that one yet, but you will.
You will.
After a month, however, the machine mysteriously disappeared. Just like all the other arcades, sad times. The game was strangely popular, to the point people were addicted to playing it. Good game will do that. That's the burden of being a pro gamer. Or someone who plays Fortnite. Plot twist, Polybius was just Fortnite all along. Large lines would form and people would fight over who could play next. Yeah, that kind of sounds like Fortnite. The machine would then be inspected by the Men in Black, who are making a surprise cameo in this video. Hi guys, good to see you again. How's it going? Love the suit, very black. Who supposedly used it to test psychoactive effects. So even back then they were thinking video games caused violence. The game frequently resulted in amnesia, insomnia, night terrors, and hallucinations. I mean, the first three of those are literally just names of video games, so.
How the turntables.
And although the original arcade machine is just an urban legend, several people have made games since then called Polybius. One of them, at least, is some VR racing shooting game. How many microtransactions do you need to buy before you get the Men in Black skin? And there we have 3 more urban legends. I don't know what happened to me during this video, I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes a good spook do be like that, and other sentences with book face. If you like this video, what's wrong with you? If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!